Okay, welcome to Nights in White Satin by Naudo, Part 2. This starts about 1 minute into the video, and it's where he goes to the chorus on the D chord. Okay, so he's going to play a couple melody notes on his way to the D chord. And here we go. You're going to start on the note A, 2nd fret, 3rd string. And by the way, he's finger picking these melody notes. And he's going to play a C, 1st fret, string 2. And the next melody note is a D, 3rd fret, string 2. Sounds like this. And that last note, the D there, it falls on the downbeat. And so he's going to add a D chord with that note, or at least an open D bass note. So with your thumb you have to pluck the open D while you play the melody note. So you play 2 notes at once there. Okay, then at that point you set up a D chord and you strum and you fill a measure. He seems to be strumming using his thumb and index finger. You could just strum with your thumb, or you could just strum with your index finger if you want to. Okay, let's move on. The next measure is an F chord, and there's a couple melody notes that he plays on his way to this F chord. And we covered a little bit of this big stretch in the last video. What he's going to do is he's going to play the 5th fret on the high string, single melody note with finger picking, play the 3rd fret, and go back to the 5th fret. Now on the video you can see he uses his pinky finger for all of those notes. Seems like kind of an unorthodox move, but when you see what's coming next it'll make sense. You're going to use your pinky like that so that you can use all your other fingers to form an F chord. So you have to stretch for it, and you have to try to hold this high A and hold the F bar at the same time. It's a tough move. Your finger may not stay close to the 5th fret. You may have to move it back a little bit. Then strum and fill the measure. Okay, then the next move is to play a high F chord with a bar on the 5th fret. Okay, this is a high F chord, and the fingering that he's doing here is a bar chord across the 5th fret like this, where you bar 4 strings. Then you're going to add your middle finger in there and play a note like this on the 6th fret, string 2. Then finally you're going to play 3rd finger in there on the 4th string, and that's on the 7th fret. You only play 4 strings on this chord. Start by strumming, and then you're going to use your pinky finger to play a little melody like this. I'm going to cover that. So while you're holding the chord, you take your pinky finger and you play fret number 8 on the high E string with finger picking. Slide it to fret 7. Lift it away so that you can play a 5th fret note on the high string, which is covered by your bar. Then place your pinky on the 2nd string, fret number 8. So that sounds like this. Alright, so let's cover that whole measure. First you're strumming this F bar chord, then you play the melody. Okay, and then the next move after that, in the next measure, is to go to an A minor 7 chord, which plays simply 1 finger. Now this finger is in the same place it was in the previous chord. I haven't moved it. It's still on the 5th fret, covering 4 strings. I'm just going to strum it for a measure. There is a melody note in there, and you can hear it. It's the highest note of the chord. There it was. Okay, let's move on. Then in the next measure, you're going to play a G chord. And notice I'm not playing any high notes in this G chord. I'm simply playing finger 1 on the 2nd fret, string 5, and I'm playing finger 2 over here like this, string 6 on the 3rd fret. And when I strum, I'm not really strumming string 1. I'm leaving that one out of it. Now the interesting thing about a G chord is that it has several open strings in there. It has open D, open G, open B. So luckily for us, the sound of a G chord can still remain even if you take your fingers away. And so Naudo uses that to his advantage. He plays a G chord, takes his fingers away, goes up and plays a high note, 7th fret on a high string. He's still strumming the open D, open G, open B, plus this high note. That still gives you the sound of a G chord with a melody note at the top. So you don't have to hold your fingers over here to get the sound of a G. It still sounds like G. Okay, then at this point we're going to do some finger picking. Let's learn that melody. You're going to play fret 5, fret 7, then you're going to play fret 8 and do a slide to 7, like that. So far we've covered this. And then the final note is part of a chord. You're going to go back and play this A minor 7 bar chord again, which you did before, and when you strum it, everyone can hear that that high note is the melody note. You can even play it again if you want. Okay, then at this point he's just going to strum the G like we did before, and he's going to play a couple melody notes. It's going to be open E and 3rd fret and high string. So that sounds like this. Then return to A minor 7 again. Okay, and then when you chop, do that thing we did in part 1 where you go 1, 2, 3 and you tap on the strings. There it is. Okay, then you hit a repeat sign and you go back to the top of the tune. So you go back and you play all of part 1 again. Okay, so this takes you to about 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the song where he does the ending, and we'll cover that in part 3. Let me throw in a couple more tidbits and tips and tricks and hints that you can do to sound like Naudo. When he goes back to the top and he repeats section 1, you might hear some walk downs. So let me go through that. He's going to walk down to F. When the F chord comes up, he's going to approach it from 2 frets away. So let's see, where does that come in? You're starting from this point. And then you're going to go. And if you put the melody in, okay, so as you go to F, just kind of sneak up on it from 2 frets away. Okay, and then the same story on B flat right here. Okay, so as you're strumming C, you're going to walk down to B flat by approaching it from 2 frets away. Then strum your B flat. So that goes. Okay, there we go. So there's part 2 of Nights in White Satin. See you in part 3.